Alright, so today I am going to show you a list of games that's close to my heart. The top 10 perfect linear games that every gamer absolutely must play. If you're like me and love a game that takes you on a well-crafted journey where every moment matters, then stick around. Let's kick things off with God of War 2018. This game was a game changer for me and probably for a lot of you too. Santa Monica Studio took a character like Kratos, who was all about rage and vengeance in the earlier games, and transformed him into a complex, deeply relatable figure. The father-son dynamic between Kratos and Atreus is what makes this game so special. I remember being blown away by how seamlessly the game transitions from cinematic scenes to gameplay. The world is beautifully crafted with Norse mythology brought to life in a way that feels both epic and personal. The combat is brutal and satisfying, but it's the story that really sticks with you long after the credits roll. This game isn't just a must-play, it's an experience that redefines what we expect from video game narratives. Next up we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. Now this game surprised me in the best possible way because I went in expecting a decent story-driven game. But what I got was an emotional roller coaster set against the backdrop of one of the darkest periods in history. Playing as Amisha, you're thrust into a world where survival is everything, and the bond with your little brother Hugo becomes your lifeline. The atmosphere in this game is incredible, dark, oppressive, yet filled with moments of hope. The use of light and shadow, especially with the swarms of plague-ridden rats, adds a unique layer to both the gameplay and the story. What I love about this game is how it makes you care so deeply about its characters. By the end, you're not just playing a game, you're living through a harrowing, beautifully told story.
Hey, what's that? Who's over there?
Into the grass, quickly. He mustn't see us.
What's that?
Amicia, his lantern.
I understand.
Hey,
He's coming!
huh? Something's... I don't get it.
Oh, Lord. It's horrible.
But it worked.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of those games that just does everything right. I've always been a fan of the Tomb Raider series, but this installment takes it to another level. Lara Croft is at the top of her game here. Intelligent, tough, and more determined than ever. The game's Siberian setting is not just visually stunning, but also incredibly immersive. The way the game balances exploration, puzzle solving, and combat is just perfect. There's a real sense of progression as you unlock new gear and abilities. And the story keeps you hooked as you unravel the mysteries of the ancient city of Kitej. For me, this game is the pinnacle of action-adventure. It's like playing through a blockbuster movie, but with the added depth that only a video game can provide.
Got an arrow here.
Control is one of those games that just messes with your head in the best possible way. When I first started playing, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect, but by the time I finished, I was completely hooked. The Federal Bureau of Control is one of the most intriguing settings I've ever encountered in a game. Every corner hides a new mystery, and every document you find adds another piece to the puzzle. Jesse Faden's journey to find her brother while uncovering the secrets of the Bureau is gripping from start to finish. What really stood out to me was the game's atmosphere. There's this constant sense of unease, like the world itself is shifting around you. And let's not forget the combat. The telekinetic abilities are just so much fun to use, and they make every encounter feel dynamic and intense. Control is a game that you absolutely need to experience for yourself. When it comes to remakes, Final Fantasy VII Remake sets the gold standard. The original game is a classic, no doubt, But this remake manages to capture that same magic while updating it for a new generation. The thing that struck me the most is how it expands on the original story. The characters feel more real, more fleshed out, and the world of Midgar is brought to life in ways we could only have dreamed of back in the PS1 days. I remember the first time I stepped into the slums and looked up at the plates above. It was awe-inspiring. The combat system is a perfect blend of real-time action and strategic planning, making every battle feel thrilling and satisfying. As someone who grew up playing the original, this remake was like coming home, but with a fresh coat of paint that makes everything feel new again.
Come on, let's push it past the red line!
Jesse, take over.
Well. I do believe this round is yours.
What Remains of Edith Finch is one of those games that completely caught me off guard. It's a short game, but it's packed with so much emotional weight that it leaves a lasting impression. You play as Edith Finch, the last surviving member of the Finch family, exploring the abandoned family home and reliving the tragic stories of each family member. Each story is told in a unique way, making every section of the game feel fresh and different. The storytelling in this game is something else. It's like playing through a series of beautifully crafted short stories, each with its own tone and style. What really got to me was how the game handles themes of life, death, and family. It's a deeply moving experience that stays with you long after you've put the controller down.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
As a huge fan of the original Alan Wake, I was beyond excited when Alan Wake 2 was finally announced. And let me tell you, it did not disappoint. This game takes everything that made the first one great and cranks it up to 11. The story is more complex, the atmosphere is darker, and the scares are more intense. Playing as Alan Wake again feels like slipping into an old familiar nightmare, but in the best way possible. The game's linear design keeps the tension high, with every chapter pulling you deeper into the mystery. The writing is sharp, the characters are compelling, and the world is as unsettling as ever. If you're into psychological horror, Alan Wake 2 is a game you absolutely cannot miss.
Plastic deer mask! General!
Capcom really outdid themselves with the Resident Evil 4 remake. The original RE4 is a masterpiece in its own right, but this remake takes everything that was great about the original and refines it to perfection. The graphics are stunning, the controls are tight, and the atmosphere is even more intense. I've played through the original RE4 multiple times, but this remake still managed to surprise me. The reimagined environments are more detailed, the enemies are more terrifying, and the story has been tweaked just enough to keep even the most hardcore fans on their toes. For me, this remake is a love letter to the original game, and it's a must-play for both newcomers and longtime fans alike. The Last of Us Part 1 is one of those games that redefines what video games can be. When I first played it, I was blown away by how much I cared about the characters and their journey. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is the heart and soul of this game. And the linear story allows that relationship to develop in a way that's both natural and deeply emotional. The world Naughty Dog has created is brutal and unforgiving, but it's also filled with moments of beauty and hope. I've replayed this game multiple times, and every time it hits just as hard as the first. The remastered version only enhances the experience with improved graphics and performance that make the game look and feel better than ever. This is a game that every gamer needs to experience.
Got you. You ain't going nowhere.
Rounding out our list is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, and what a way to end it. Nathan Drake's final adventure is a thrilling, emotional ride from start to finish. The storytelling is top-notch, with a focus on character development that makes you really care about what happens to the characters. The game's linear progression allows for some of the most cinematic and memorable moments in gaming. From high-speed chases to epic shootouts and breathtaking vistas, this game has it all. What I love most about Uncharted 4 is how it balances the high-octane action with quieter, more reflective moments. It's a fitting conclusion to one of the best gaming franchises ever, and it's a game that no one should miss.
Nate!
Go, go!
Oh God!
Don't look back! Just run! Don't stop! Keep running! Right behind you!
Nate! Move your ass! Let's go! Come on! Get up!
Alright, so those were my favorite 10 linear games that every gamer must play. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.